Well, it's Friday, but if you guys are big fans of the Japanese wrestling scene, as always, you guys are in the right channel. For today, we only have two reviews for that. The first one is, of course, from DDT Pro Wrestling, with Sanshiro Takagi's 30th anniversary. Never Say Never. This took place recently on the 3rd of February. So let's see how things are going to go wrong. I'm sure there's going to be some funny moments in this entire event. But we also going to be reviewing MARIGOLD's much recent event as we continue with more of the New Year's Golden Garden Tour. And they made a stop, of course, to Shinjuku FACE. This one features the semi-main event being Mai Sakurai once again teaming up with Chanyota. It's been almost a year since they last teamed up. They face, of course, they it's going to be amazing. And of course, the main event, the Superfly Championship, once again is on the line. Vittori Yuzuki makes another defense, this time against someone who's been chasing this belt for quite some time, ever since this belt was revealed. And that is, of course, Mitsa Matsui. So we'll see how things will roll up. And then, of course, we cap up our episode with some news updates to give you guys updates on what's been happening in the world of pro wrestling, such as what events the promotions are thrown out, who's booked, what matches are set, including developments that are happening in the world of pro wrestling as we speak. So, let's get ready for another episode of Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Hey everyone, welcome to Deleted Wrestle Zone, all things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, TNA, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, J Rod here. So, if you are new to the channel, welcome. This is a channel where we do a lot of pro wrestling reviews from various promotions, not only here in the United States, but also in Japan, Mexico, Canada, Europe, the UK, anywhere in the world pro wrestling is not as big, but it continues to grow. We also, of course, do discussion videos, talk about various topics such as the wrestlers themselves, the promotions, factions, storylines, whatever we want to talk about. We also, of course, do more news updates. If certain information was unable to be on this episode, we can either put it on the next one or on a separate video by itself. We also, of course, do real-time news updates to keep you guys on alert if something has happened in the world of wrestling that needs to be addressed ASAP. We also, of course, do Miran Sayaka Watch and various other cool wrestling content as well. So if you like what you see, please subscribe to us or click on that subscribe button. You'll be getting a lot of daily reviews and other cool wrestling content as well. But if you like this episode, please give us a like on the like button or a nice comment in the description down below. Now, all introductions have been set aside. I believe it's time to rock and roll, so let's bring on the noise. So let's begin, of course, with DDT Pro Wrestling's Sanshiro Takagi 30th anniversary. Okay, DDT Pro Wrestling, it's been almost a month or maybe a month and a half since I actually did a review, and this is their latest, one of their latest events, starting this month of February. This is the Sanshiro Takagi 30th anniversary. Never Say Never. Now, this recently happened on the 3rd of February in Shinjuku FACE. Now, for those who are new to the channel, you may not know who Sanshiro Takagi is. Shinjiro Takagi is the founder and he's the boss of DDT Pro Wrestling. He also is the boss of Tokyo Pro Wrestling and started various companies to continue wrestling. And not to mention, he does have a say in Wrestle Universe, where they stream a lot of their wrestling shows. But Shinjiro Takagi, he is a fun, awesome dude. Really funny. He dresses up like Stone Cold Steve Austin. Have you ever seen Stone Cold? He does this. He does the same thing too, but he does it in a comedy way, where it's just him. But awesome dude. So he does his promo. I don't know what he said. I'm sure the fans are happy and they're to celebrate his 30th anniversary involving the pro wrestling. He hasn't been wrestling that much. We know that he's been dealing with health issues. Um, but he's been mostly involved, like mostly behind the scenes and all this other stuff. So that pretty much is what he's been doing. But nonetheless, he's having a great time of his life. Now, let's begin with our first match. We have Shota versus Fumihito Kirihara. Now, I don't know much about this guy, Kirihara, but Shota, I am familiarized with him. Those who know who he is or not, Shota is a big fan of Eddie Guerrero. If you ever seen his wrestling gear, he has almost a similar wrestling gear as Eddie Guerrero. And not to mention, a couple years ago, he did a tour here in the States. He was here in San Diego when he was involved with Level Up. Not to mention, he made a stop to El Paso, which is the home of Eddie Guerrero, and he felt that that's his adopted home now, because that's where he was influenced by Eddie Guerrero. But not to mention, in this particular match, he's turned into a heel. I haven't been keeping much tabs on him that much, but he was unable to pick up the win when Kirihara, who seems more like a technical type of wrestler, put on that move that Zack Sabre Jr. does, not the bridge, but more like the Trekker bridge, where he grabs the arms and then he actually applies the leg like a hook to keep him pinned, and that's how he was able to pick up the match. So pretty good right there. Now, this is a very interesting matchup. We have Muscle Sakai taking on Hyper Misao. Now, what you guys don't know, this was a very unusual match, but at the same time, I couldn't help myself. Whenever I see comedy involved in DDT Pro Wrestling, I just have the urge to laugh, to pee myself in my pants, or just fall down dead happy. But this is what this match was going. Every moment of this match, there were moments that were going slow mo, because obvious reason is because someone is I don't know if this was pre-recorded or what, but you try to get a thought of, like, how do I say this? Basically, it's like they're speaking on their thoughts about the match. Like, let's say, for example, I'm beating the crap out of the person, and what goes on in my head, I don't know, but I'll think, this bastard pisses me off. I'm gonna so that kind of thing. I don't know exactly what they're saying while that was happening, but the fans seems to enjoy themselves. That really happened. But there was a moment where, of course, Hyper Masao, who's been known to bring in the cold spray, used it in his eyes. Then he lit up his legs and his arms, and then, of course, she used it like it was like a deodorant. So, but however, Hyper Masao won this match by applying a crossbody. So just like that, it was completely over. Now, our next match, we have, I don't know this guy very much. His name is Impingan, hold on, let's pull up my notes. Munenori Sawa, he teams up with Fuminori Abe. They take on Shinya Aoki and, of course, the founder of T-Hearts, Yumiko Hota. Now, however, I have to say, with Aoki and Abe, that was a pretty good moment of their match. Bit of the technical aspect, which it was amazing to enjoy and watch. But however, this match ended in no disqualification match, because Hota decided to go a bit overboard by choking Fuminori Abe, but she had help from her protege, Miku Kane, who I reviewed on certain matches. But of course, the Mio Shirai, who was, okay, if those who know who Mio Shirai is, she is the sister of Io Sky, who served as ref, decided to call this match. It was disqualified because Hoda was using the chain like a hangman's rope. But however, the post match, oh my god, it seems Miko Kani decided she's gonna pick a fight with Fuminori Abe. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they do put those two in a match, but it would be fun to watch. I would love to see it. Now, our next match, we have the Brahmin brothers, Brahmin Ki and Brahmin Shu, taking on Toru Owashi and Dump Matsumoto. And of course, serving as ref is none other than DDT's founder and boss, Shinjiro Takagi. Now, however, this match was, out of control. But at the same time, the Brahmin brothers, who don't play by much of the rules because they like to play by their own rules, threw ectoplasma on Takagi's face. So basically, this match ended in a disqualification. But however, Dump decided this was not going to go unpunished. So she begged for this match to be restarted. Well, it is Takagi's show, so he said, "Why not? Let's do it." But instead of a regular match, it became a no disqualification tornado tag team match. But of course, Takagi gets himself involved in this match thanks to the Brahmin brothers. But oh my God! Of course, this match ended with Dump Matsumuro crushing Shu with her big body press, and just like that, it was over. And then, well, Takagi actually did a fast count because, of course, the Brahmin brothers continued to mess with him. So when Dump pinned him, it was like 1, 2, 3, over, just like that. And of course, she did put up a promo. I don't know what she said to Takagi, but I'm sure she was appreciating for his services of 30 years in pro wrestling. Hopefully, we can see him more. But I'm sure deep down, I know that he probably feels that his time as a wrestler is over, but his time involved is not. But we'll see how things will progress from here on out. Now, our next match, we have the final boss of the Joshi wrestling world, Meiko Satomura, taking on Shinjiro Takagi, portrayed by none other than Sakura Hirota, basically dressed up like Takagi doing the fire, and Takagi was there too. So there was great moments of that, but however, it was Meiko Satomura with the Pele kick onto Hirota, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over, just like that. Now, our next match, we have the main event. We have Blue Justice, Yuji Nagata versus Kuroshio Tokyo Japan, formerly known as Ikemen Jiro. Now, of course, when it comes to Ikemen, you know he loves to sing and dance during his entrance. And of course, Nagata was like trying to get him, come on, get in the ring. And then when he's not getting in the ring, he's just stretching out. But however, this match ended quick with Nagata applying an Uranagi, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it's over. But Takagi, who runs the show, decided restart the match. And then once again, it it went to the same result. Another Unagi. Nagata won. And then finally, they decided to go again. But it went a bit more longer this time. But it was Nagata with once again with the Uranagi that allowed him to pick up the win. Now, during the post-match promo, I don't know what Nagata said to Ikemen, but I'm sure things will be great. And then Takagi, along with the Brahmin brothers, Takagi was doing his thing. And then, of course, we did see the Brahmin brothers. I don't know what their beef was with Takagi, but I'm sure we'll find out soon enough. But I have to say, this show was great, involving Takagi. I mean, look, you can say you cannot throw in comedy in wrestling. I mean, we've seen that with Orange Cassidy and possibly Danhausen, but they do it way better. Not better with, like Orange Cassidy or Danhausen, but they do it really, really great. But I enjoy it. But for right now, I think we are officially done with DDT, and I believe it's time for Marigold. Okay, Marigold, our last review. This is continuing with more of the New Year's Golden Garden, and once again, they were in Shinjuku FACE. Now, our first match, we have Ryoko Sakimura taking on Now Ishikawa. So, wasn't expecting too much on this one, but watching this, I just thought in the back of my head this one was going to go with Now Ishikawa, because those who know this, Sakimura still has less of experience in the wrestling ring. So it's obvious that Ishikawa was going to win this match, and she did when she applied some sort of big slam or something. But just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. Now, our next match, we have Chiaki and Nagisa Nozaki taking on Riara. and Rhea Seto. Now, of course, when it comes to Chiaki and Ozaki, you all know they like to cheat their way through by using chairs, trying to soften their opponents up outside the ring. Well, none of that happened mostly, but however, I think because Riara, who doesn't have the necessary experience, neither is Rhea Seto, was much easy, how to say, way for both Nagisa and Chiaki to pick up the win. But it was Nagisa and Ozaki with the Lance Nor that allowed her to pick up the win, and she pinned Riara, who took the fall, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over from there. Now, our next match, we have Megaton taking on Mirai. Now, nothing too special about this. Of course, as you all probably can guess, that this, I don't know what Megaton was thinking at all, but I can tell you this match ended by a submission by Mirai and all that. But later there was a bit of a post-match promo. I don't know what Mirai said to Megaton, but it was over from there. Our next match, we have Yuki Minami taking on our current MARIGOLD World Champion, Utami Hayashida. Well, I have to say Yuki Minai has been growing significantly. She did has a bit of an improvement, but she's not there yet. But I have noticed she's improved just a little bit. But it did not give her a guarantee maybe for a world title match. I mean, it would have been sweet for some people, but however, she's not there ready to step into that world just yet. But it was Utami Ishida with the German suplex hold. 1, 2, 3. It was over. Just like that. Now, our next match, we have Chika Goto and the former Superfly champion Natsumi Shozuki taking on the current Twin Star Tag Team Champions Seri Yamaoka and Nana Takahashi in a non-title match. Now, of course, when it comes to that, you would think, okay, somehow they would pick up the win. Now, I did mention Chika Goto has grown up a bit. She has changed just a little bit of who she is in the ring. But however, that wasn't enough because once again, Seri Yamaoka, who was able to impress everybody, was able to pull up another fantastic win when she applied a German suplex on Chika Goto. And just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. But no new challengers have made their attempt just yet. So we will see what happens down the road. Now, our next match, we have now Yamada teaming up with the former MARIGOLD United National Champion Miku Anu. They take on Chanyota and Mai Sakurai. Now, those who know this, Mai Sakurai and Chanyota know each other since 2023. At first, they started out as opponents, and then they started teaming up on various occasions. They have made attempts for the New Blood Tag Team belts before, but failed. But Chanyota has not been seen in a Stardom ring since 2024. But it's interesting to see that now she teams up with Mai Sakurai in a promotion that is somewhat new and fresher. And I thought it was pretty good. So you ask yourself, how much ring rust did these two have since they haven't teamed up that long? Well, I have to say we have seen both of them grown up significantly. I mean, Chanyota has grown up since then. She had picked up some good wins, but not the bigger ones just yet. But it was Chanyota who picked up the win when she applied a jackhammer on Yamada, and just like that, 1, 2, 3. But during the post match, of course, this was going to happen. Chanyota made a play now for the United National Belt, so obviously she got her first challenger. So this is going to be an interesting. No new challengers have issued yet, but this is interesting. Can't wait to see. Hopefully, it becomes official. Now on for our main event, we have the Superfly Championship. Victoria Yuzuki makes another defense here against Mitsa Matsui. Now, those who've been following Mitsa Matsui, as you probably know or not, ever since the Superfly Championship was revealed and established, Mitsa was making her play for it, and she was unable to do so when when they tried to crown the first, and then she made an attempt, and now she decides to do it. But however, she has to face against Iruki, who has been making headways with not only when she was in Stardom, but also in MARIGOLD, and that's exactly what she was doing. And I thought it was very impressive. But once again, Victoria Yuzuki picked up the win when she applied the 3 moonsaults. Now it's the moonsault we go from the bottom rope, second rope, top rope, and boom! Just like that. 1, 2, 3. It was over. She retained the belt. Now, I don't know what she said to her during the post match promo, but here's what things got a little interesting. Out of nowhere, we see Chiaki. Now, by looking this, you would think, okay, Chiaki will definitely try to make an attempt for the Superfly Championship. But no, she carries Mitsa Matsui. I don't know what is going on there. And even Nagisa Nozaki was there too. Like, well, at the outside the ring, and they carried both of them carried Mitsa Matsui to the entrance and just left. Now, I don't know exactly what's going on. I know that Chiaki and Nagisa Nozaki are dubbed as the Dark Wolf Army. I wouldn't be surprised if they attempted to recruit her. Now, there haven't been any factions formed in MARIGOLD just yet. I'm not sure if they're going to go the same route like they did with Stardom, but we'll just have to wait and see. We know that Bozilla was part of it, but she left after, of course, the miscue that took place recently in the tag team match with with all 3 of them. But we'll see. So, and no new challengers have issued against Victoria Yuzuki, but we'll stay close to that as soon as possible. So, but until then, we'll end things here. We are officially done with our reviews. Let's move on with news updates. Okay, so welcome to our news updates. As always, let's begin with upcoming events with the promotions. Now, as you all know, on the 15th and 16th of this month, Jersey Championship Wrestling and GCW will have their latest tournament, the Jersey J Cup. Now, however, I already announced certain matches that have been announced, but however, they announced the final 4 first round matches involving on day 1. So, this is exactly the matches they announced. We have the bad boy Joey Janela taking on the Silver Tooth Satan, Acticus Coger. Rich Swan takes on Drew Parker. Clark Connors takes on Otis Coger. And then we have like a bit of a 5-way match on this one. Sidney Akeem versus Charles Mason versus Teriyaki versus Fuego del Cel and versus Mr. Danger. So those are the final matches involving in the first round. So we'll see what happens until then. Now, speaking of GCW, we do have the San Diego show that will take place on the 23rd of this month. I mean, the 28th of this month in San Diego. I feel so. More matches and mentions that who will be appearing. Now, for the matches, we have Drew Parker taking on Aries. Fuego del Sol takes on Titus Alexander. And Super Crazy will take on Ray Horace. Then we have Zara Zacher, Brooke Havoc, and Cole Radrick making their appearances. So it's great to see Zara Zacher, who is in this match, local. Can't wait to see what she'll do. Now, Tokyo Pro Wrestling has announced for their upcoming event on March 10th, Grand Princess 2025. Willow Nightingale makes her return to Tokyo Pro Wrestling after 2 years. She takes on Miyu Watanabe. That's going to be a fun match to enjoy. New Japan Pro Wrestling will be back in the U.S. again for the resurgence on May 9th in Ontario, California. So basically, it's in the somewhere around LA or so. But yes, it's going to be fun. German wrestling promotion, WXW, announced their 25th anniversary that will take place on the 18th of October. So that's pretty much what's happening. Now for some developments. Now let's start with the Fightful report. Many of you may or may not have heard about what happened recently. There has been some releases in WWE. Now, normally we see this after WrestleMania, but I didn't expect this now. Now, recently we did report that Duke Hudson has been released. Here are the names that were released. We did have the Blair Davenport, Paul Ellering, Authors of Pain, Cedric Alexander, but he's currently on a 90-day no compete clause, and of course Sonya Deville. But however, it was reported that she did not renew her contract. She's been with the company for almost 10 years. I don't know what's going on there. So that's pretty much. I'm sure there'll be more names for releases, uh, but we will see what happens from here on out. Now, continuing on with the Fightful report. Now, some of you may be disgusted and disturbed of what just happened. Fightful Select reports that AEW's Boulder has been fired from AEW. Now, this is what the reasons of that. Apparently, he was arrested for a strangulation last January. So it's disturbing of that. I mean, I don't know what was going on with this guy. Now, I know some of you would ask me this question: what's Bronson think of it? I don't know. I mean, I'm sure he is staying quiet. If this happened last month, I'm sure they were keeping this under wraps until the AW was ready to say, yeah, we have this. But it doesn't make sense now because recently Jack Jamison, and I failed to mention this on the ROH review from this past Thursday, that Jack Jamison has been hanging out with Cole Carter, Griff Garrison, and what's his name, Preston Vance. I didn't know what to make of that, but it would make sense. If that was the case, then we'll see. Now, many of you know this Yoshi wrestler. She's from Pro Wrestling Diana. Diana has the promotion. Diana just revealed that Miran, who is currently on leave of absence due to her exams, has been accepted to pick a school of her choice. But recently, she has been appearing in practices, so we don't know when she'll be back. But can't wait to see her. Now, many of you know this. What happened with Stardom? As you know, Tam Nakano said that she wants another crack at Kamitani to reclaim the red belt. But however, Kamitani said that she'll put her in a tag match, teaming up with Kurara. However, if Tam or Kurara loses the match, she takes her on. Now, Kamitani recently was saying that Kurara has always admired her, and of course, feeling that Tam's kisses that she has, she doesn't like them. However, Tam defended her, but we need to ask ourselves, what is Kurara thinking? What's going on? So recently, she has spoken about the situation. Now, this is what she said about how Kamitani was saying that Kurara hates the kisses that Tam Nakano gives her, and this is what she said: "I never thought I hated. I was just exhausted after the match. Didn't have the energy to kiss her back." I mean, yeah, I mean, she did. She looked exhausted, and of course, she talked about how people are talking about, oh, she'll betray Tam Nakano. It's gonna happen, and this is what she says about that. Some people are saying things like Kurara will betray her, but that's not going to happen. I will not join hate, and I will not be their servant. You should at least polish your own shoes. Yeah, she should. But she also talked about her deep bond with Tam Nakano. And this is what she said. Tam said, I'll raise Kurara. And even on her days off, she would watch me practice at the dojo. Thanks to Tam's son, I was able to grow, and she is my senior who I respect from the bottom of my heart. I will never do anything to make Sam, or who I love so much, sad. Now, I don't. People are speculating that because we know that I think was it last year, Kurara whispered something in her ear. We don't know what, but however, there are those that do speculate. But Kurara is assuring it's not going to happen. There are fans who are saying they don't want her to leave just yet. There are those that are saying that she probably will. It would happen if, like, right when Tam will get her opportunity for the red belt against Kamitani. So we'll just wait and see what happens. So, but yeah, we'll see. But for now, we'll end things here and call it a day. Okay, hope everybody enjoys this episode. Coming up, you're probably asking what's going to happen. We do have AEW Collision, so I haven't decided what else. I do know there is a recent Stardom event. I'm not sure if I'll be able to see it. If not, then I'll throw in something else instead. So we'll see how things roll up from there. I'll see what I can do about involving Bronson because it's still disturbing what Boulder did. Not a lot of information has been told, but we'll see. Um, if there's anything else, we'll go from there. So until then, I will see you guys in the next DWZ time, same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So, goodbye, and have a nice day.